I don't know, like I didn't feel like you were making these huge changes to like my ideas, but they were like just a few like very like precision like things that you pointed out, and it's like kind of like I don't I'm getting the image of uh like an explorer in a temple, and you like turn like a few like knobs or something, and then like the whole like door like opens up and you're inside.
Hello, everyone. It's me again. I haven't done one of these testimonials for a while, but I would like to introduce you to Ethan. Ethan finished my action boarding mentorship a while ago, and I'm only just getting around to organizing this testimonial. So, Ethan, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your career and your goals and stuff like that?
Yeah, my name is Ethan Marler. I'm from Houston, Texas originally. I didn't go to school for animation or anything like that. I kind of was really interested in writing and story, and so I like went to school for like journalism and philosophy, and was like, okay, maybe this will like somehow relate to story in a way, and then um, ended up finding out about storyboards, and I was like, oh, this is perfect because like all my journalism articles were like about movies, and all my textbooks were just filled with like doodles and drawing and stuff, and I was always like, oh, I have these two interests, but if only they like there was some sort of like place in the middle, that would be amazing. And then someone was like, oh, that's storyboarding. Like, what are you talking about? So after college, I moved to Austin and ended up just working with, my roommate ended up being an editor at an animation company here, and I kind of just started. I lost my job at the time, and he kind of got me in at like this entry level kind of job, and I kind of just worked in like every department at that company until they've but the whole time I was like, can I do storyboards? Like, can I do storyboards? And they'd be like, well, let us see your work. And I would like show them, and they'd be like, no, you can't. And then, uh, but the whole time I would just like constantly like bug the storyboard board artist there and be like, what can I do better? And kind of just trying to grind and get improve my skill set. And eventually, in like I want to say like 2017, I landed in the 3D layout department, and that was cool because I learned a lot about camera and story just from that angle. And then um, around kind of like, I guess like it would be like late 2020, I got promoted to like full time storyboard artist there. So I've been doing yeah, storyboards full time since 2020. I worked there. I worked on like a show called Ruby. And then I worked after that. I went to a company in Vancouver. Or it was a remote job uh, to work on a Netflix show. So I've mostly worked in like TV stuff at this point.
Awesome, awesome. So you had like quite a bit of experience before actually taking my mentorship, right? So, um, what was the reason that you decided to specifically take my mentorship? Because I know there are a lot of options online for you to, work on your storyboarding, improve your storyboarding skills. What was the thing that told you, like, you know what, I'm gonna do this one instead of these?
That's an interesting question. It's like I mean, a huge part of it is I just really like your art, and I'm always like split where I'm like, sometimes I love the storytelling of features, but I kind of like love the art of like TV animation stuff, and yours kind of felt like this. I don't know if this is right, but it kind of at the time it felt like this in between where it's like your art. There's like just so much depth in the frame. The characters like they're loose, but like the form is like there. Like you can kind of tell like that they're interacting in the 3D space, and I just really love that. And then I kind of seen how you were just well, your movie that you're like working on, like your personal project, and I'd seen some stuff from that, and I was like, oh, that's like really cool. And I don't know, I think the action part of it was a big part of it too, or I've just been like, I'd really I the I've been thinking a lot about action for like the last like 3 years, I would say, and the fact that it's like there's like it's action, but there's like a story focus. I think I found like really intriguing, where I was like, because I think it's really compelling and exciting to do action because it's like an immediate like attention grabber, right? If you post something on social media and it's action, and it can look really cool, like there's like a sexy factor to it, but you can also totally do that and there not be like a story underneath that that's like driving things. And I was really kind of looking for something that would kind of bring those two things together for me.
Yeah, because you actually did a portfolio review session with me before you decided to join the mentorship, right? And a lot of my feedback in that was there wasn't much story in the action, right? It was just like a dinosaur chasing a girl, or a
Right.
guy doing like a speeding and doing like a big stunt with a car or something like that. And a lot of my feedback was I don't care about this because there's no story.
Yeah.
All right. So you actually worked on a action piece with dinosaurs again in my mentorship, right? And this time we kind of developed a story for it. Like, if you had to describe the process of developing that story in the mentorship, like, how would you describe that process?
Yeah, so I kind of there's like a personal project that I've been working for a long time, and that's like why a lot of my stuff has dinosaurs in it. And so it's like all kind of like pulling from just stuff I do at night when I'm bored or I'm just like typing um story stuff. But so I like pulled like some scenes from that, and then you we kind of went over those. And I remember one of the notes was you're like, well, this one's not bad, but that's also not an action scene, so let's not do that one. I was like, all right, yeah, I guess it's not. But yeah, we kind of went over those and like kind of talked about like what had the most potential to like stand alone, like as a story, like what kind of showed the characters the most, and then um, so then like from there, I think it was like a thumbnailing process, and you were just giving me feedback, and that was really cool because I don't know, it was interesting because like I pulled out this standalone scene from like a bigger story, and but then that's like this really cool opportunity to kind of like change things and craft things and be like, okay, how can I tell the themes of this like bigger story in like this one scene, which in reality probably all sequences and movies should be able to like do that in
Yeah.
part, right? And so I don't know, it was really cool to see, just to get your feedback, because I feel like you're very good at like very quickly like identifying like what characters are or what they could be and how they could, I don't know, like I didn't feel like you were making these huge changes to like my ideas, but they were like just a few like very like precision like things that you pointed out, and it's kind of like I don't I'm getting the image of uh like an explorer in a temple, and you like turn like a few like knobs or something, and then like the whole like door like opens up and you're inside, because it was just like it went from just being this action scene with some characters to being like you like unlocked the story for me kind of, or it was like, oh, okay, like I see now that this isn't just about like a brother and a sister like running away from a dinosaur. It's like a brother and a sister, and like how she like has depended on him for everything in her life, and he's not actually able to fulfill that role anymore, and she's having to take the lead, and that's like an uncomfortable position. And there's like immediately like so much more emotional engagement with that. Like once we started like bringing those elements out.
Wow, that's like a like amazing description of the process. I really love that. So like if you probably kind of already answered this question already, but like what are the things that you completely didn't know before the mentorship, and the things that you learned during the mentorship, and uh, are those things like are you using them now, and are they easier to understand now to incorporate into your work?
Yeah, I think so. That I mean, the one that I keep coming back to, which I haven't boarded that much action since then, but the and this wasn't like your main thing at all, but I don't know why it stands out, but it was like the using the environment to escalate the situation and then having the environment change throughout so that it's like they're moving the story and then the story's moving and then the environment is like this empathetic world or something that's like reflecting things becoming more chaotic or more dangerous. And so that's like something that I think was like super helpful to like piece together. But like honestly, like I think like the biggest thing for me was just the way you centered character and like kind of seeing you do it was like this kind of it like opened my world in a way where it's like, oh, you I can do that too. Like I just have to start prioritizing story as like a thing. Which is interesting because like when I first got into this, I story was the reason I got into it. And I was like, I'm not as interested in drawing, but I want to do story, so I need to get good at drawing. And I think at some point along the way, like the focus all became on like the technical kind of side of things. And so I think your class was a really cool like refocusing on like um no, like the drawings are not as important because that's like that was something like you told me in my um portfolio review was like, yeah, like you're good on drawings. Like you can kind of stop trying to get better at that right now. You should focus on this. And that was like this like, oh, what? But I need to get better. Like I have to like keep grinding and getting better at that. And so I don't know. That was like this really I really appreciated getting that feedback because it was like this kind of freedom to be like, okay, you're ready to go to the next level, which is like a little bit deeper and a little bit more mysterious to like try and figure out story, but like also for me at least, I think like way more gratifying to kind of like really kind of be like, okay, I have these cool set pieces in my head, great, that's awesome. But like, what does this mean to the characters and like, who are they? And how can this scenario bring out their personal, like, emotional tension that's like manifesting through their identity or something?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Because one of the things I've realized since teaching a lot of artists who work in TV that want to transition into feature, is they often have that common problem. They say that like all I've been doing is just boarding from the script, and I've never been able to be part of the story or wonder why these characters are doing these things. So when they actually have to write or create a character, they have no idea about why a character does certain things, character
Right.
development, emotions, and stuff like that. And they really, really struggle with just, telling stories and having good character development, right? So that's awesome that you were able to start thinking about those things and falling back in love with the
Yeah.
thing that made you actually start this, right? So um, the mentorship was 5 weeks. It's pretty short, but what would you say was like the most valuable part of the mentorship?
On it, like your lectures were amazing. I got so much out of that stuff, but I think truly like just the interfacing time with you, right? Like just getting to talk with you, getting your feedback on the sequence was amazing because I probably should have done more research, but I actually didn't realize like what the mentorship program was going to be. Like I was just like I did the portfolio review and I was like I just got like a really good vibe from you, and I was like, yeah, I want to go to the next level. Like, let's do the next thing. I'm ready to grow and learn. And so like I signed up, but like I don't know, the format of just being able to be like, yeah, we're just gonna make like a short film
Yeah.
essentially, and you're me. I'm gonna have access to you and like your feedback, and I think that was like so valuable because I think at the end of the day, like making stuff, making stories is like the goal. And if you can like incorporate like practicing into the process that will actually result in the end goal, that's really cool. And then you again, I feel like I keep saying the same thing, but your feedback was just like so valuable and like really like brought things together where I could like see like, oh, like I see this as a story now, and I see like how to progress, and I see how to. I feel like I kind of learned how to incorporate that into my own like storyboarding process.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. That's so wonderful to hear. Um, so I personally really enjoy the second half of the mentorship session where
Yeah.
I could just sit and talk to the students about story, and it's kind of like a story room. And I honestly enjoy that more than the lecture itself because it's it's kind of like you're working with a like co-worker and you're working they're the director and you're just helping them bring their vision to life, and it's just a really nice process. So even like if you're not like close to like getting a job at like one of the big studios, like just that moment in the mentorship is kind of like what you do on the job, and it's
Yeah.
the closest thing you could get to experience without actually getting a job. Honestly, I feel as though it is, right?
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
remember a moment where like you were giving me notes and you're like, I think this moment's like weak. I think you should do something that has to do with this. And then like I was like, oh yeah, it could maybe be like this. And you're like, yeah, that's really good. And there was just like, it's not just like this, oh, I'm gonna give you notes and then you
Yeah,
go do it. There's like an interplay, right? And like a collaboration essentially.
yeah, yeah, it definitely is, right? Um, so the last question I want to ask you, Ethan, is who, like, based on your experience in this mentorship, right? Who would you say, or what type of board artist would you say you would recommend this mentorship to? Like, who is the best person that would benefit most from this mentorship?
Yeah, I mean I think like everyone, but uh I mean I benefited from it hugely, and I think I'm like a TV storyboard artist who's looking to like get better, looking to get into feature maybe one day. So I think that is like a big part of it. Like if you are interested in feature, like I think it absolutely like take the mentorship. And also just like beginners, I think I would get like a lot out of it. Like even if your drawing chops aren't super strong, um, you can always grow those things in tandem. And at the end of the day, you can. I think you said this, but you're saying like, there are times when if the story's like really good enough, people don't notice like the drawings being bad at certain
Yeah.
points. And so like I don't know. I think if you can tell a compelling story, you can get away with so much. So I don't know. I think like honestly, beginners, TV artists, and TV artists who are like looking to get into feature or just like get more connected with story, like because there are opportunities to get involved. I think in TV, but it's you kind of have to build that confidence, right, to speak up and be like, oh, actually, I think this would be like a really good change or like something like that.
Yeah, awesome. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Ethan. I think this was one of the best interviews I ever done because you described your experience so well, and I think a lot of people will have a better idea of what they could expect if they take this mentorship. So before you go, I was wondering if maybe you could share like your social or like your website, LinkedIn, portfolio, like anything or any kind of if you want to shout out where people can find you and if you're available for work, when would that be or anything like that?
Yeah, And yeah, you can find me on Instagram. That's where I do most of my stuff. And I think it's just Ethan Marler dot Instagram. I don't know what the URL is, but like if you just look me up on Instagram, I'll be there. I'm on LinkedIn in the same way, and then I think my let me double check, but yeah, my website slash portfolio is just Ethan Marler Dart. Ethan Marler Dart. EthanMarlerArt.com, and that's like where you'll find like a lot of my work. And yeah, I mean I'm available right now. Finished up a contract earlier this year, and I'm kind of just ready to get back out there and do some more work again.
Awesome, awesome. So thank you so much, Ethan. I will try and put like all your information in the description below. For those of you who watch this interview and you're really interested about the mentorship, I'm currently taking in new students, filling in new slots. So just message me and we'll book a consultation and see if this is right for you, right? So again, thank you, Ethan, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and I hope you enjoy the rest of your art journey. Thank you.
You too. Thanks, Raj.